Evening all, and welcome back to the latest episode in the Paranormal Police Case Files. This one's going to be slightly different. We're not going to give you 5 cases, but we're going to concentrate on one case that highlighted a new hypothesis that we're calling enabling objects. So sit back, relax, and as ever, let us know what you think. In an intriguing case last year, which unfortunately we cannot disclose the details of, highlighted the frightening possibility that some objects could be more than meets the eye. In the world of the supernatural, there have always been tales of objects that seem to do more than just exist. They animate. Welcome then to the chilling world of enabling objects. Items so steeped in mystery and energy that they may just be the perfect conduit for something not of this realm to gain access to this world. It's like handing a ghost the front door key to your home. To get a better idea of what we mean by enabling objects, let's take a look at a few common examples. Annabelle is no ordinary doll. Housed in the now closed Warren Occult Museum, this seemingly innocent Raggedy Ann figure was believed by Ed and Lorraine Warren to be a vessel for a dark, malevolent entity. It began in 1970 when a nurse received the doll as a gift, only to soon notice it changing positions, moving rooms and leaving handwritten notes. A psychic claimed the spirit of a girl named Annabelle Higgins was attached, but the Warrens believed it was something far more sinister. Annabelle now sits sealed in a glass case, marked with the warning, "Positively do not open." The story inspired the 2014 horror hit Annabelle, which reimagined the doll as a creepy porcelain figure and kicked off a franchise within the Conjuring universe. Other films that play on haunted doll lore include Robert, The Boy, and of course the ironic Child's Play. But are they cursed or possessed? Are they acting as portals, allowing entities to enter your space and wreak havoc? Or are they just bad luck? As ever, we provide the evidence, you act as a jury. Some blades are forged for battle. Others are forged for something darker. In the annals of supernatural folklore, few weapons carry a reputation quite like the cursed dagger of Alara. According to legend, this dagger was forged by a blacksmith who didn't just temper steel, he bound a restless spirit within it. That spirit? A wronged warrior whose very rage was seeped into the blade itself. The story goes that Alara, a gifted healer, lost everything, her family, her future, at the hands of someone she once trusted. In desperation, she took up the dagger to exact revenge. But the blade had a will of its own. It fed on her grief, walked her mind, and demanded more. Those who saw her in her final days say she just wasn't the same. When her vengeance was complete, she vanished, and so did the dagger. Locals whisper that it still exists, hidden, waiting, and should it fall into the wrong hands again, history just may well repeat itself. Some mirrors reflect more than just your image, and some refuse to forget. Nestled in the heart of Louisiana lies the Myrtles Plantation, a place whispered to be one of the most haunted homes in America, and inside it, an antique mirror that many believe holds a supernatural secret. The plantation is said to be haunted by many spirits, but none more infamous than Chloe, a young enslaved girl. Called eavesdropping on business affairs, she was brutally punished by Clark Woodruff, who cut off her ear, forcing her to wear a green turban to hide the disfigurement. Seeking her way back into the family's favour, Chloe allegedly poisoned a cake with oleander extract to nurse them back to health and to regain trust. Instead, Sarah Woodruff and her 2 children, James and Colenia, died. In the aftermath, Chloe was hanged by fellow slaves and her body was thrown into the Mississippi River, both in acts of retribution and of desperate self-preservation. They say the spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her children are still trapped within the glass this very day. Despite endless cleaning, handprints return and visitors report seeing ghostly faces even when alone in the room. Cameras have captured strange orbs. Guests have felt cold chills, oppressive atmospheres and a sense of being watched, not from behind them but from within the mirror itself. Some believe it was never properly covered during the funeral, allowing the spirits to imprint themselves into the mirror itself. Again, is this just a portal connected to the afterlife or beyond? So be careful of what could be looking back at you. Sometimes the most dangerous objects don't come from graveyards, but from people you trust. Hassan was a mischievous boy growing up in Turkey. Every afternoon he was met by a man he called Uncle, a stranger with green eyes and a long white beard who seemed to know exactly when and where to find him. At first the visits were innocent, just gifts, stories, affection, but soon Hassan grew distant, pulled away from friends, drawn only to the stranger. One day the man gave Hassan an amulet. He said it would protect him, but never to remove it and never to show anyone. From that moment on, everything changed. Hassan's behaviour became violent and erratic. Then, just as suddenly as he had appeared, the man was gone. The amulet was lost, but the energy, it lingered. Years later, Hassan would come to believe the man had been no man at all, and the amulet had been a spiritual tether, possibly a jinn or something darker. He eventually sought help from a Hoka, a spiritual healer, to break the connection. But the question remains, who gave him the gift? And what did it awaken? And why? So, not all protectors will protect your soul. Some will chain it. So, what happens if one of these objects ends up in your home? The SEPI Agency believe that these entities operate in frequency. Interfere with that, and you interfere with them. So there's one experimental solution worth trying. Wait for it. Tinfoil. Completely wrap the object in the stuff. It acts like an energy disruptor, a supernatural short circuit if you will. And that's just the beginning. More methods may be on the horizon. But we need to investigate these methods further before we can say for sure if these techniques work. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, remember, some objects do a lot more than just collect dust. They observe, they wait, and for some, they act as portals. Physical portals and passageways to the unseen and the unwelcome. So next time you come across an old trinket or amulet or some other object at a flea market or boot sale or even in your attic, ask yourself, is it alone? The examples I gave you in this episode are just that, they're just examples. There's no real truth or proof that they are real in any way. Let's take a look back at the Annabelle doll. I'm very sceptical about something that's really been part of a franchise and continues really to create a lot of attention and possibly make some money. Not that there's anything wrong with making money, you have to. It's the only way really you can fund the research and take the time that's needed for this area. So the agency have no issues about people making money out of this subject. However, where the lines become blurred between what's real, which is just fantasised, that's where we have a problem. Let's take a look at the Myrtle plantation for example. There are no records of Chloe ever working there as a slave girl. We don't really know if that happened. We don't really know if she was hung and thrown into the Mississippi River. We don't know that. Yes, Sarah and her two children did die, but by all accounts it's by yellow fever and not poisoning, which throws some doubt in the whole story. We don't want to take away the mysticism and the allure and the romance of the whole story and take anything away. No, of course not. Stories are good stories. But we are about the truth. We seek truth. And where there are grey areas, that means it can't be true. It can't be true until it's proved. I mean, let's take the cursed Dagger of Alara. Again, all I can find is stories and nothing tangible or real. It's a great story, but is it real? I don't think we'll ever know. And our little Turkish boy, Hassan, again, another story. That doesn't take away from the fact that these stories that I've used here as examples discredit the theory of enabling objects at all. No, they're simply there as example to show you the concept of enabling objects. Where an entity cannot maybe get to you directly, because maybe you know how to protect yourself, you know what you're doing, maybe they come to you another way, through a valuable object, something that has sentimental value to you personally. It doesn't have to have monetary value at all, but the entities can use that to get to you still. And those objects can hold on to this eternal flame for a long time. So if you believe you have an object in your house which you believe is cursed or possessed, please contact the agency. We'd love to hear from you. And try the tin foil. Wrap it around the object, see if it disrupts, see what it does. My advice to the lady in our case that we cannot discuss was to put the object in tin foil very ruggedly, so not smooth, nice and rugged, lots of different edges on it, and place it out into the garden, and then come back to us and let us know in a week's time if the paranormal activity had stopped. And unfortunately, as I said, I can't discuss the case, but it's worth a try, and it's one of the things that had an effect. And like with any hypothesis, it's just exactly that. It's a hypothesis. It's a foundation on which to build upon. So it's not right, but it's certainly not wrong. But what do you think? Again, we give you the evidence and you decide. Put it in the comments. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to do that little bell so you get notified when we've got new videos coming out where we take more deeper dives into the world of the unseen, the unknown, and the uncared for. This helps support us by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to this channel. We thank you for joining us for this episode, and be sure to look out for the next one. And until next time, be good.